What's up, you guys? Slim here with a new video today. I'm here to bring you guys top 8 from ARG Circuit Vegas. I'm here with Hubbard. What's going on, man?
Doing good.
Doing good. Look at that sexy mat, you guys. Yeah. There's only 16 of them in the world.
On the whole planet.
It's pretty crazy. What deck were you playing?
Mermails.
Mermail. Did you think it was better than Fire Fist?
Yeah, I thought it was much better than Fire Fist.
Much better than that. What were the reasons behind that?
I outlined it in a tournament report I made on duelistgrounds.com. You can read it there. Okay. I really thought
I have a link down below.
That not necessarily that Fire was a bad deck. It was more about just how good Water was and how powerful it was. I thought all the plays that it made had the least amount of risk and the most upside out of all the plays. So you're basically just playing the percentages, but there's so much in your favor that it's like you're going to win an overwhelmingly large amount of the time. And in the end, the monsters that you're playing, they're just better than everyone else's monsters. Like no other deck can really do what you do, which is just inherently unfair. So yeah, that's you know. So I go more in depth about it in the actual report, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Sounds good. How'd you go in Swiss?
I finished 7-1-1. I drew with Kevin Silva in the second to last round.
What was the one loss?
I lost to +1 Fire Fist. You know, I lost the die roll. I think the die roll was really important in that matchup, and I ended up losing it, and I couldn't win.
Thanks, man. All right, well, let's just get to the deck.
Yeah, I mean, it's really standard. We have 3 Lins. Obviously need 3 for the spears. 3 Teuses.
Probably what they should have hit on the list, but didn't.
Yeah, one of these cards. Either way, these are probably this is probably one of the best monsters in the whole deck. 3 Gundy. This is what they did hit on the list.
Yeah.
Worthy target of being hit on the list because this is what really allows you to constantly push out threats pretty much every single turn, and you can't really get by by summoning like pikes and stuff and attacking. You're going to need to make cards like Dweller, or like cards like Bahamut Shark, or even cards like Dracosack or Gaios to be able to keep up with every other deck. And these make it possible and make it so that you can do it basically every turn. 3 Pikes. Pikes, basically the setup card. It's ideally you'd want to open this plus any water monster. It doesn't really matter which one it is, and it'll fix your hand to whatever you want. It's going to search for whatever you need. If you need Gundy, you can dump this and get that, etc., etc., etc. All these cards are searchable. They all search into each other, and that's another really important part of the deck is that all these cards all work with each other in a really special way that no other deck can really compete with. Turge. Basically, it's the same card as this, except that this gets it from the graveyard, and these guys basically they have the same effect, but they're different monsters. So this allows you to use basically the same effect twice, because you can only use this once per turn, but because you have this, you can say dump Gundy, add Marksman back to your hand, then use Gundy's effect to special summon this, and then use the Marksman that you just got back to your hand with Turge, and discard it for this, and then destroy any face down that you want. That's generally the combo that most people talk about.
Yeah, without like minor investment.
There's no investment at all whatsoever, because if you're using it off of Beast Sphere, then it's basically just free whenever you're doing it. Abyss Lead, it's mainly just a body. It's 2,700 body. It's huge. 7 stars. The discarding cards out of your opponent's hands is relevant. It definitely comes up. Mainly though, it's there because I don't think you can really win mirror matches without it. You kind of just need to have it just to get it over other cards, and you need it to get deal with other Abyss Leads as well. The 2,700 attack is a pretty good threshold. 1 Megalo. By the end of the tournament, I wanted to just take this card out completely, but I think you just kind of have to have it. Yeah, I side it out almost all the time just because Mind Crush and Debunker are so popular, and it's already risky enough as it is just summoning it because you have to invest so much into playing it. So I leave it in just because I think there are situations where you are going to need it, and having a 2,400 guy to go with Lindy is not bad either. Its effect to tribute and attack twice is relevant. But rarely do you really want to use its effect because there's so many back rows now, and it's really just a tough investment to make. Aqua Spirit.
Card's good.
Basically just they're level 4 bodies that you can remove. Makes it so there's lots of scenarios where you can main phase 2 Dweller versus a Sphere. You can make Bahamut Shark and attack. You can make Exciton Knight.
Exciton blow out the game. Arc.
If you see later on with a controller, this can lead to lots of black roses as well, because generally you can summon this first, and then your opponent's not going to bottomless it because they're going to wait for you to do something, and then you'll just normal summon controller right after, and then they're like, okay, bottomless that either, and then you just block rose them, and you force them to have certain outs, and if they don't have it, then they're just going to lose the game. Otherwise, it just makes rank 4s, and rank 4s are really good. So, Marksman, I only use 2. destroys all face downs, obviously. I mean,
And you can just recycle it.
you can
with
recycle it,
turds,
yeah,
so.
exactly a lot. I mean, face down cards are pretty good in this game. So this one just destroys them, you know. I mean, it makes it so that a lot of your plays have much less risk than there are, because if you're discarding this for Pike, and then Pike resolves, and then you're using this to destroy something, that's a +1. Yeah. Dragoons. Everyone knows what Dragoon does. Search for it. It's not as good as it used to be because there's no Diva.
But still needed.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. Lets you search for these two, these guys, and it can be just a level 4 to succeed with. If you're using it for Best Dweller or Bahamut Shark, then you're going to get the effect as well. Title, which is
Probably like
definitely the best
most
monster in the deck.
ridiculous card in the deck.
Yeah, it's definitely the best monster in the deck. Free 2600 beaters for nothing. I mean, and it's really hard to beat that. Gen X Undyne, it's effectively just an Armageddon Knight for title. Although you can on occasion dump cards like Marksman to destroy back rows, depending on the situation, obviously, or dump Dragoons to add Marksman to your hand or Megalo to your hand, whichever one you need. If you already have title or something. Generally, though, you're dumping title with it. Especially because you add this to your hand. Obviously controller is not that good, it's a vanilla. But it being a tuner does have relevance because
Make a Leo.
you can make Leo with title,
Yeah.
exactly. Making Leo is pretty important. If you can make Leo and your opponent can't, that's just an inherent advantage that you have. Because Leo is just very hard to deal with no matter what way you look at it. Yeah, so this card basically brings these two together, which is, obviously very synergistic. And yeah, the whole deck, all the monsters, they all basically flow with each other. That was make the deck so good, is that you can really do whatever you want, basically. I mean, Upstart Goblins. If we could play 37 cards in our decks, I think we would be playing 37. So
It works.
Put that in there.
It works. Hi, Pat.
Yeah. Torrential. These are all staple traps. Really. I wish I didn't use this. I don't think it's that good right now. I wish I used something else like Dark Hole or something, or even I wish I used Mirror Force instead of this. I mean, this card, it really doesn't really hit any very good cards except for Exceeds, and then it doesn't really do anything that's like first turn Yamato, first turn Bear or anything, and it's really pretty awful in the mirror match as well. So I wish I didn't use this. This card was probably the best trap.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. How did that work?
Yeah, this was incredible. I mean, it either turns off Dweller that they make, or it makes it so if they see it in the graveyard, they just don't make Dweller, in which case, that's pretty awesome. Okay, that means I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, cool. Nice, that means my deck works. Okay, so I don't mind if people don't make Dweller. If they don't make Dweller, then they're making something else, which is very, very good for you. And even if they're not, this card obviously works against cards like Drago Sag and stuff like that, and like Discaios, etc. Yeah, it's just all around. It's like the perfect card made for Mermails. I wouldn't use it in any other deck except for this deck. But it's like tailor-made for this deck, though. Rangeki Break. I like this more than MST. I didn't use MST in the main deck because I thought this card was just better because it being a trap card and it being able to hit cards that aren't magic and traps, you can protect your field a lot more. You're able to hit monsters, which has lots of relevance. And it works very synergistically with Abyss Gundy, because Abyss Gundy, obviously whenever it's discarded, it doesn't matter if it's for a water effect or for anything like that, you get the effect. So you're able to discard Gundy with this, which is obviously very, very searchable, and you can destroy something with this, doesn't matter whatever it is, and then you get a free card from Gundy as well. Generally it'll be Abyss Lend or something like that. But I thought that was pretty important that it could hit monsters and it can eliminate back rows as well. So I thought it was better than MST. And there's Reckless Greed.
All the Hobin.
Yeah, exactly. This deck's really similar. It's basically the same deck as Hobin's, minus like
a couple changes.
I use these instead of Phoenix Chain and stuff. Although I know he used these at the event, so. Yeah. But yeah, a Reckless Greed, it's obviously very good, especially in this deck because this deck's very combo oriented. Generally, you can just, even if your opponent doesn't like MST it, which is what people would advise you to do, they would advise you to sit on it until you draw another one, or your opponent uses removal on it. With this deck, you don't have to do that. You could just play it if your hand is like one card away from like being incredible, but you have like a ton of those outs that can make it incredible. Like let's say it's like a discard outlet, you need to draw like Taze or something. You got Taze, Pike, Turge, Lindy, even a little bit, Abyss Sphere, etc., etc. All those cards, that's about like almost half your deck at any given time. Could just break your hand wide open, and so this can really just it can just dig you there a lot faster. And the advantage that you're going to create by using this card in the first place is generally just going to make up for the turns that you're not drawing cards, basically. So yeah, it's obviously very good. If you draw in multiples, it's really hard to lose no matter what deck you're playing against. And yeah. And then there's Abyss Sphere.
Obvious.
This is probably the best card in the whole deck. This is the reason why everyone saves their MSTs against this deck. It really, if it resolves at any given time, it's really hard to lose, especially if you're going first, because you're going to be getting some sort of advantage off of it. Like no matter which way you look at it, you're going to get free cards out of it. Yeah, I mean it gets you Turge, gets you Pike, dumps Marksman, Abyss Gun, whatever you want, and then it's all free basically. But yeah, that's the main deck.
Main deck. Cool.
Extra deck.
Extra, yeah.
Okay, sure, I'll do extra.
Extra real quick.
Just Leo and Black Rose, yeah. These are because you have Genix controller. This being able to board wipe is really important, and then Leo is just really hard to get rid of for any deck that you think of. I mean, if you can't make your own Leo, it's basically impossible. If you have Dark Hole, I guess, or like this, or Exciton Knight or something. Biscayos, Draco Sack, Big Eye. The standard rank 7s you need. They're all really good, obviously. I don't think I do explain those. 2 Abyss Dwellers. This deck you probably need 2 Dwellers more than most decks because they can pump your monsters as well. And it's just overall really good in the mirror match. Diamond Arrow Wolf. I kind of wish I didn't use this because I never summoned it once. But it is useful for getting rid of cards like Deep Fissure or like Soul Drain and stuff like that. Crazy Box was in. I knew the Dragon deck before the tournament. I tested it because I thought it was good, and I didn't think it was better than this deck though. So I ultimately decided not to use it.
Sorry,
but I did. Yeah, but I did not want to play against it because if it did get spread around, and I didn't want to be at a disadvantage. I didn't have Crazy Box, and plus high red X they use skill drains as well. So it is worth using, I think. As Honor Arc, obviously really good. Exciton Knight, yeah. 2 of the best.
How many times did you do Exciton Knight, people?
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. You'd think it'd be a bit harder in this deck because there's lots of ways to generate advantage, but you could just summon this card really whenever you want, and it's really easy to just dump cards out of your hand too to make it live. And you'd be surprised at a lot of people that just walk right into it. Also, like in my top 16, for example, my opponent just basically just ran right into it. And I'm not saying he was bad or anything. He was a very good player, but even he admitted himself that he played that game very poorly and just ran straight into it. Wobble Chain basically exists. Send title. Yeah, if you don't have Undyne. I used to do that a lot, but eventually you just realize that getting Undyne and dumping title with that is just a lot better. So you can make other rank 4s like Dweller or like this guy or Honor Arc, etc. There's Bahamut Shark, which summons this guy. This guy is basically free wall,
free monsters.
Yeah, free monster 2800, and whenever it dies, you get something out. And
then the best fucking card in the game.
Yeah,
my favorite card in the game.
I'll go to Gallo card. I summon this a lot, actually.
It's Dracula.
A lot, yeah. Having rank 30 access that actually just kills stuff, we really don't have that. I don't think those really exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! Besides Zenmains.
Yeah, but I mean, Zenmains required.
Zenmains is really bad right now. It's a very poor choice to use in your deck, no matter which way you look at it. Big Eye, Breakthrough Skill, Phoenix Chain, etc., etc. This card works a lot better because it's going to instantly bait those, and it's a lot bigger.
Yeah, 18.
And generally, the way you're making it is the cards are just floating. So if it resolves, though, then you're getting free cards out of it, which is obviously really good.
Side.
Yeah.
All the stuff.
You smooth the star raid.
We got 4 starters.
Favorite colors.
Yeah.
All right.
Even
Cool.
though it's all of them.
They all suck. There's no red. I like the red one.
2 Typhoon.
3 Typhoon. I don't main them.
Yeah. You don't need them.
Yeah, I don't main them, but I bring them in a lot against like water and stuff. Pretty much every match.
Also floodgate cards. So.
Yeah. It's a lot better after post siding. Then Dark Hole. Dark Hole is probably the MVP.
It won this.
Yeah.
It won this. So
yeah.
It's a good card.
This is like the MVP of my side deck, really. It's incredible. Like no matter what deck you're rolling on against, going second. Like if you're playing against +1 fist, they go summon bear, set like 3 cards. You're gonna want to have Dark Hole so you can just get rid of it because there's not really that many effective outs to a first turn bear with like lots of macros. Same thing with Gear like if they set armor, you're like okay, I'll Dark Hole that, and then
they
you don't have to worry about it. Exactly. If you don't have marksman or whatever.
When they play the deck, they're going second.
And it's really good as water too because a lot of the times it's gonna come down to like people just putting out fields and stuff, and how are you gonna break them? This just breaks them all instantly, so it's just obviously really good. Trapsta, Fairy Wind, and Full House. I used 3 different kinds because I really wanted to be able to like differentiate my removal so that people couldn't play around them. And I think there's a lot more value in that because people already know how to play around this card in particular. So if you vary it up, then it's really hard for them to play. You can't really play around all of them at all.
Right. Did the burn work at all? Like the burn factor? Did it matter?
No, it didn't matter. It was more about the destruction. If this card just said just draw face-up cards on the field,
yeah, I think Silva said he won a game because of it. Because like the extra damage just got in there.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to come up that much. I mean, it could though. I don't think you're ever destroying that many face-ups for that matter. But you know, Emptiness and Divine Wrath. These were my I couldn't find debunks before the event because it was the most popular side card.
Should have asked.
Yeah, I should have asked somebody. I mean, but I also didn't know I was going until Thursday before the event, so take it as you will. But these were very suitable replacements. These are both very good as it was. I would probably keep these in even if I found debunks. If I'd done testing prior to that, I probably still would have kept these in addition to the debunks. But you bring these in generally, this is instant water, basically, but this can also be brought in against lots of different decks. Any deck that uses effect monsters, really, like...
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, basically effect monsters are pretty good at Yu-Gi-Oh! So, Pulse Dyna, I wish I didn't use this. I only brought it in against Hieretics. It won me the game against Hieretics, don't get me wrong, but they're just not popular enough to dedicate one side slot for it. DD Crow, it's really good. I kind of wish I just used one because I didn't bring it in that much. I also have Maxis in here. I don't want to bring it in against the mirror match because I thought I'd be oversiding at that point. And because I'd be bringing, if I was playing the mirror match, I'd bring in like these, and then these. I'd bring like 10 cards. I really just don't want to bring in 10 cards against the mirror match. So I would probably take this out. It has use applications in other matchups. Like it's good against illusions. It's good against the dragon decks. It's good against water, I guess. But like I said, I really don't want to bring in that many cards against water. When I'm already bringing in this many cards. So I probably would have cut it down to one. So I probably would have cut these two for debunks and then just called it a day. And then Maxis were really good in the mirror match. You kind of need these just in your these are dedicated to the mirror match against any decks that summon a lot of monsters, but mainly for the mirror match because if you're not playing these and your opponent is playing these, then like I said, you're at you're at a very big disadvantage compared to what they're doing.
All right, awesome. All right, and the last thing I have to ask: so being a Mermail player, with Gundy going to 1, what's your opinion on the deck?
It's not nearly as good as it used to be. I obviously think it's really good now, but it's really good right now because you can just consistently put out big threats like rank 4s, rank 7s, and you can do it basically every turn. But the only way you can really do that every turn is if you have consistent access to Gundy. And with only one, yeah, it's still searchable, but you can't like dump Gundy with Pike and then search for another Gundy right after that and then be able to use it to do everything next turn as well. You have to have Turge to get it back to your hand now, and that just makes it a lot harder to consistently combo people out. And so I don't think it's nearly as good as it is now.
Still playable, but
it's still playable. Don't get me wrong. I've done the testing, but I was getting crushed by a lot of decks just because I wasn't able to put out big fields like I was able to with this deck now. So yeah, I think that's a bad thing going for it, but it's still playable.
All right. Well, that's it, you guys. Pretty much got everything. I pretty much heard it all. So it was basically a tournament report. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thumbs it up. Thank you for the profile. Thank you for watching.